The Vatican, in its tendency to keep so many secrets, lays itself open to any number of conspiracy theories. The shadow of conspiracy currently hanging over the Vatican is nothing new, and people today are prepared to believe that the Vatican is capable of anything to maintain its power and control over the many millions of Roman Catholic believers throughout the world. One of the earliest charges of conspiracy leveled at the Vatican has its beginnings all the way back to the crucifixion itself. In 1967, a writer named Hugh Schoenfield published a book called The Passover Plot, in which he theorized that Christ did not actually die on the cross, but merely pretended to. What really happened was that Jesus' disciples gave Jesus a drug mixed into wine shortly before the crucifixion that simulated physical death. His followers revived him 3 days later, which was made to look like the resurrection. Then in 1982, a book called Holy Blood, Holy Grail was published, this time alleging that whether or not Jesus actually died on the cross, he had still taken Mary Magdalene as a lover and sired a child with her. After hiding for a time, Jesus and his family traveled to France, where they created the Merovingian dynasty of French warrior kings who supposedly had supernatural powers. In the 8th century, the Pope refused to officially recognize the Merovingians, who then went underground and created several secret societies, including the Knights Templar and the Priory of Sion, in order to protect the royal bloodline of Jesus himself. Now, the Pope's role in the affair is said to go like this. Who would be least served by the fact of Christ's longtime descendants living in the world today? The answer is the Pope, who would be forced to defer to a true son of Christ. Therefore, it's charged that the Vatican keeps this particular secret under very tight wraps. More recently, the accusation of Satanism in the Vatican has reared its ugly head. In 1996, a priest named Father Malachi Martin published a novel called Windswept House, which opened with a scene that depicted Vatican officials mounting a likeness of the devil on a throne in St. Peter's in the dark of night. Father Martin's book was widely accepted as a truth disguised as fiction attempt to expose the rumored real-life Satanism being practiced in the secret depths of a Vatican gone very wrong. The crux of the Satanism accusation involves charges that important Vatican officials have sold their souls to the devil and now fervently believe that the Church must do away with its religious preoccupations in order to take part in creating a new world order that will do away with many human rights and freedoms. The satanic Vatican officials are working against the Pope and in conjunction with the European Union and the United Nations. When Pope John Paul II died in 2005, he was greatly mourned throughout the world. He may also have been mourned by creatures not of this world at all. A Reuters news item appeared on the internet shortly after the Pope's death, in which a piece of video was discussed. That video showed what appeared to be an unidentified flying object moving across the upper left portion of the screen. The video was taken from a network feed camera at about 6 a.m. Roman time as Pope John Paul II lay in state. While some have speculated that the object might be a bird, others felt instead that it was something more mysterious.
There are periods when nothing happens in the field. Although, if you look on the internet now, you say, well, there's no UFO activity in the United States, it's all gone away. But in China, they're having a huge flap. Maybe down in Chile somewhere, the UFOs are invading a village. In Mexico, they're taking up people. There's always something going on around the world. It's not that UFOs are just of interest to a small segment of the population. It's something that has been of immense interest and a growing interest around the planet. There isn't one country on the face of the earth that this phenomena hasn't touched. In fact, several decades ago, Dr. Hynek presided over a closed session of the United Nations where there was an attempt made to get some sort of subcommittee organized to investigate and keep track of this phenomena on a global basis. But it's very interesting. All these countries, China, Russia, Iran, Iraq, they never agree on anything. They agreed on this and they put it down and nothing was ever done about it. Only the lonely country of Grenada, where they had postage stamps made with UFOs on them, was the only one that I think voted positively on the subject.